Hi, welcome to Be Joyful 24/7. Today is going to be another video as part of my garden to table segment. Today's recipe is peas paneer masala. So you already know paneer is cottage cheese. I already have some cottage cheese that's going to be expiring soon in the fridge, and I just thought, well, I may as well make a recipe out of that, and I'll just film it as well and show you how I cook it. So for this recipe, of course, we are going to be using peas as well. So I'm going to get some peas and some onion and tomatoes and garlic from my garden. And it's going to be a really nice creamy curry recipe that you can eat with chapatis or any rice. Or you could even eat it with some rice recipes that I've already uploaded. So let's just go and get the vegetables from the garden and I'll show you how to cook it. As I've told you before, I had to harvest my onions and garlic already. They've all been dried and it's been in my pantry. So I've taken some onions and garlic from my pantry, ready for this recipe. So when I'm looking for peas, you just need to press it and see if it is hard enough inside. That's when you know the peas are ready for harvest. So as you can see that some of them are still not ready. You can see it, but sometimes you need to press it inside to see whether they're ready for harvest. So this paneer pack is about 300 grams, which is what I'm going to use. So for this recipe, these are all the things that you need, but don't worry, I will add everything in the description box. So I've shelled the peas and I've got about 3 cups of them. I just thought I'll show you this time with just actual measuring cup, because normally I don't use any measuring cup of any sort. It's just eye level for me, but then I realized, for recipe sake, for everybody else to follow it, it'll be much better if I showed you that I am using a cup as well to measure. So you can see that I've diced my paneer in cubes. I've got some chopped onion and some tomatoes. I have peeled about 7 garlic cloves and about 5-inch piece of ginger. I have some coriander powder, garam masala, turmeric powder and chili powder. I also need some dry spices for this. So I need some cumin seeds, cinnamon stick, some cardamom and some cloves. I'm going to heat a non-stick pan and add about a tablespoon of oil, and then I'm going to add 1 teaspoon of cumin seeds, cinnamon stick, about 3 cardamom, and about 5 to 6 cloves. I'm just going to fry them for a couple of minutes and then add my diced ginger, and the peeled garlic. Now this needs to be fried on a lower to medium heat for a couple of minutes. It doesn't have to be cooked completely, but it needs to be cooked for a little bit. I would say about 2 to 3 minutes would be fine. After it's softened for a few minutes, I'm going to add my diced onion. The onion doesn't have to be cooked completely, it just needs to turn translucent. And then I'm going to add the chopped tomatoes, and I'm going to let this cook on a lower heat for about 15 to 20 minutes. The whole mixture needs to be really soft and mushy, especially the tomatoes. So you can see this is how it's supposed to look. Everything is cooked really well, and we are going to now grind this into a paste. I am actually using an Indian blender. We call it a mixer grinder. But if you don't have that, you can use a hand blender as well. While the mixture is cooling down, because we have to let it cool down before we can blend it, I'm going to take a pan, add a tablespoon of oil, and I'm going to fry my paneer cubes. This is just to keep the paneer cubes shape and its size in the curry. It doesn't have to be completely cooked. Just browning on either side for a couple of minutes really helps. So it just needs to look something like this, and then I'm going to take it off the oil and keep it aside. So the paneer's been fried and the mixture has been blended and all ready. I'm going to take a heavy bottom pan, add about 3 tablespoons of oil. I'm going to add some cumin seeds and some turmeric powder and chili powder and some coriander powder. Make sure the flame is really low. I'm also adding some Kashmiri chili powder just for color. The flame needs to be really low while we're doing this process, otherwise the masala would actually burn. So make sure it's really on a low flame. This is just so the spices turn aromatic, so make sure it's not burned. We're now going to add the blended mixture. Now this is going to be the longest process here. Now this masala needs to be cooked with no water of any sort until it's completely coming off the pan and it's not sticky anymore. This is going to take a while, and you also need to make sure that you keep stirring it. I'm adding a little bit of salt as well to taste, but make sure you keep stirring it so it doesn't get stuck to the bottom or burn. And this is how it needs to look. So you can see that it's completely thickened and all the moisture's gone. And at this stage I'm going to add about 4 cups of water. I'm going to let it come to a boil and then add my shelled peas and the fried paneer cube that we kept aside. I'm going to bring the whole mixture to boil, and then I'm going to reduce the flame and cook this about half an hour to 40 minutes. So at this stage I'm also adding a teaspoon of garam masala powder. This is optional, but it actually adds to the flavor. So it's been about 30 minutes and you can see that the oil is beginning to separate and the mixture is really nice and thick, and the gravy is actually quite ready. Now this is optional, but it really enhances the flavor. I like to, just before I switch off the flame, add about 2 tablespoons of ghee. If you don't have ghee, you can always add a little bit of butter, but it really makes the gravy really creamy and nice and flavorful. So this is optional, but it's a bit of an indulgence actually. So the peas paneer masala is ready. I've actually made some chapati to go with this, but you can eat it with naan bread or any rice of your choice. I really hope you enjoyed watching this video. Like I said, I'm going to try and make as many recipe videos as possible. Every time I cook something using my home produce, then I'll remember to film it and upload the video, because I really do think that it's really nice to show people how I cook the vegetables as well, not just about what's growing and how it's growing. So I really hope you enjoyed this video. I'll see you again in another video of my garden to table segment. Bye.